This is not a Baptist church. I guess that's why everybody thinks they're in a Baptist church, because they're all sitting in the back. So anyway, sorry, there isn't going to be a sermon, but there is going to be some announcements, and hopefully we will talk to you about some of the highlights of what's happened the last year, what our plans are for the upcoming year, and then we're going to expand on that because there is quite a bit going on campus. So first thing, Ashley, can you go to the next slide? Okay, welcome back. Some of you have had some great summers. I heard a little bit from some of you as you came in the back door. Some of you have traveled, had kids, grandkids visiting. So it's always interesting to hear some of the stories that everybody has to share. So summer's over, in case you haven't looked at your calendar, and we're certainly glad that everybody's back, ready to start the next year. Ashley, can I get the next slide? And there has been a lot going on over the next year. And Ashley, you're going to have to advance about 5 or 6, because those were intended for me to advance them. Okay. A lot of these are things that you do know about. So enrollment has certainly increased. And we are so glad that we have a couple new buildings online, because that enrollment it's been a real challenge for Dr. Millsap and Dr. Armentor to get people into classrooms and get them into office spaces for the last year and a half. So we've had some increases in enrollment. We've added some new dual enrollment partners. And so if you talk to Bruce Hodge, he'll be glad to share some of those names with you, and I think Pam's going to have a list of them here in just a few minutes. We've also started some new programs, and Dr. Millsap and Dr. Armentor may talk to you some more about those. We built a new building. If you haven't been in the Health and Science building, take an opportunity to go walk through the building. It is drop-dead gorgeous. Where's our nursing faculty? Awesome, right? Long overdue. So it is a great building. We also renovated. We're actually renovating a couple buildings on campus. The one that everybody's certainly aware of is the Madison Monroe building. And knock on wood, hopefully by Monday, when classes start, everything in that building will be done. Right, Reed? Yeah, right. Just say yes. Let's see. We also created a foundation specifically for Lamar State College, Port Arthur. And I've got a couple slides on that I'll share more information with you in just a minute. And if that wasn't enough, we decided to buy Seahawk Landing. And so Dr. Bradford she's put in some long hours getting Seahawk ready for residents to move in. And of course, as you might imagine, that building it's about 10 years old, so there's a lot of upgrades and repairs that need to be done. So Reed's been working real hard on that. Next slide, Ashley. So what is coming, or what can we anticipate in the upcoming year? And this is just the short list. There's probably a lot more to add to this list, but this is just the short list. So the first thing, Bruce Hodge and his staff are going to continue to work with increasing our dual enrollment partners. We also have several grants that are about to be submitted. Dr. Stafford has a couple, Dr. Millsap has some, so we'll be submitting some additional grant applications. One of Dr. Millsap's goals is to generally promote student success, and that's a short 3-sentence, 3-sentence goal for really Title V. So anything that she can do to promote student success, we're on it. Also expanding our credit and non-credit programs and training. So we do have a couple programs that will be starting during this upcoming year, and you'll hear more about that from Dr. Millsap and Dr. Armentor. So the blue is the mission of the school. And so that mission has been in place for quite a few years now. We regularly get that mission statement approved by the Board of Regents. It's required by our accrediting agency. So we'll probably be submitting this for approval so that we can show that we're constantly updating and looking at our mission statement. Okay, next slide. The foundation. The LSCPA Foundation, we actually started talking about a foundation in 2023. And after some long discussions, we decided that we needed to go ahead and form a foundation specifically for Lamar State College, Port Arthur. It's dedicated to supporting the college and all of our goals. Right now, there are a total of 19 members on the board. 4 of those individuals are part of the executive committee, and I'll show you their names in just a few minutes. And they are really interested in becoming more active as a foundation and participating in college goals. So they're going to be very, very involved. That is their logo on the screen, and right below it is their website. They have a website. You can go and look at any of the information about the foundation, bylaws, members, bios of all the executive committee. So it's pretty robust website. Scott Street plays a very large role in helping with the foundation and getting it off the ground and running, and continues to visit and talk to them on a pretty regular basis about what kind of activities they are going to be working on in the upcoming year. Okay, next slide, Ashley. And these are the foundation officers, and they are people that are involved in the community, involved in organizations. I mean, you'll recognize a lot of them: Motiva, Chenier, the Port of Port Arthur. Peyton Keith is the current chair of the foundation. He's very interested in reaching out to corporate offices to secure support for the foundation. So those things are going to be ongoing all the time during the course of the year. Okay, next slide, Ashley. So some of the things that the foundation is working on, and I'll show you another slide about this brick campaign in just a few minutes. But the fishing tournament and the golf tournament are all sponsored by the foundation and Scott's hard work getting it all organized. So the fishing tournament is in the first week in September, I believe. I don't have the exact date in my head. We have had a couple sizable donations to the foundation, and some of you probably heard about the donation that Mr. Albright made. So he's committed $1 million to the foundation, and so we will be naming or putting his name on the industry training facility. There's a blue facade on the front of that building that faces Lakeshore, and so we'll be putting his name on that building in recognition of his support for the college and the foundation. And I know Scott is talking about, and probably in the next few weeks we'll be sending out an invitation to everybody on campus if they would to explain how you can support the foundation. And he's talking about like a monthly donation or something like that. So more information about that, but that will be coming. Next slide, Ashley. This is a little bit about the brick campaign, and some of you have already purchased a brick. They will be installed in front of the Health and Science building, around that big piece of artwork. There's a brick sidewalk, and so the bricks can be purchased, and you can put your name or something inspirational on the brick, and it will be created and installed. Probably, I think Scott was talking about October to install the first round of bricks, but we'll see. Depends on how many of them are sold. So that's in the works. Next slide, Ashley. This is our tagline. If you haven't seen it, it's on a lot of print materials for for the campus. It's on our website. It gets put on a lot of different public information. A lot of brochures, flyers have this tagline on it. So hopefully you'll see that. I saw one of our commercials on TV last night, and the tagline was in the commercial. So you'll see that frequently on a lot of print and public information. Okay, next slide, Ashley. That's the agenda. I'm finished with mine. I'm going to turn this microphone over to Dr. Millsap, and we will go through the agenda. Hopefully we'll be out of here within an hour or so. I do want to remind all of you that my office is still in the library. They're working to finish my office. I'll eventually get over to the Monroe building, but I wanted to make sure that everybody else got in there before I worried about my office. But that being said, my office is always an open door office. So if there's anything that you need to visit with me about, or if there's something I can help you with, please feel free to stop by. Judy would be glad to set up an appointment if you want to do that, or if you just want to stop by on the spur of the moment, that's fine too. So anyway, have a great semester, and hopefully I'll see you on campus during the campus updates.
There's a method to this, right, Betty? Is it this? That'll do. Okay. We can go to the next slide. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the fall semester. So happy to see all your faces. Missed seeing most of you over the summer. But yes, I'm here to talk about some things going on in academic affairs. We can move on to the next slide. First, we have a lot of new faces on campus. I'm going to introduce the people who are new in academic affairs. When I call your name, hopefully you're here. If you'll stand, I'm just going to have you stand until your department is finished being announced. Next slide. So, new faces in academic affairs. In our Allied Health Department, we have Leanne Halliday. Is Leanne here? I know we left some people back to run a skeleton crew in the offices. Janine Hansen. All right, there's Janine. Carlos Quintero. Here's Carlos. And Donna Mitchell. Okay, so welcome to our new Allied Health faces. Happy to have you. In our Business and Industrial Technology Department, Christina Lawson. Where is Christina? There she is. Christina, by the way, is the new chair of the Business and Industrial Department. She started a few months ago, so welcome, Christina. Brian Lynch. I know you're thinking, but Brian's been around. Yes, he has, but he has no longer shared with anybody else. He's ours and ours alone, just Port Arthur's now. So he's new in that capacity. And Michael Broussard. There we go. All right. Machining and millwright. So happy to have you all on board. Thank you. All right, next slide. In our Creative Arts and Service Professions Department, you say, wait, what? What department? What's that? Okay. You remember the long name, Commercial Music and Visual and Performing Arts? Yeah, that department. We've done a little bit of reorganization. We can talk about that another time. I know we're going to talk about it tomorrow with the faculty, but we've renamed that department Creative Arts and Service Professions, because in addition to all of our wonderful music, art, graphic design programs, we've added culinary and cosmetology and social media and what am I leaving out? Some other thing. Paralegal. Y'all know Blas is an attorney, right? Anyway, so that department's name is now Creative Arts and Service Professions. And in that department, some new faces. Carolyn Baden. Is she here? Yay, there's Carolyn. Albany Wagner. She's probably working right now. Okay, there she is. There she is. Keontae Caesar. And Robert Sterling. Okay, so thank you very much. New faces in our newly reorganized department. And then the General Education and Developmental Studies Department. We have some new faces there too. I hope I don't butcher this name, but we want to welcome Rama Devarakonda. Are you here, Rama? Okay, so when we see Rama, don't let him know that I, might have said his name wrong, but welcome when you see him. Brian Lynch, for some reason, is here too, but he's actually in the business and industrial. We get it confused because economics is a gen ed, discipline. Jake Meadows, math. Jake, I think, started in the spring. Okay. And Vinay Medhakar. There's Vinay. Welcome to our new GEDS faces. Okay, next slide. We also have a few other people either new or in a new position. So in Dr. Armentor's area, our Dean of Educational Programs area, Chanel Lawson is now the assistant to the Dean of Educational Programs. Chanel, there she is. In dual credit, is Luke Bourgeois here? Did he make it here? He was also going to another convocation. Okay. Well, in dual credit, we have April Loya Boggs, who is now the, I hope I get her title right, the shared dual credit manager, Polk County Center. Anyway, so she is going to assist Luke in growing dual credit and will be based out of Livingston at the Polk County Center. In Title V, Overcoming the Odds, Jimmy Scott. Is Jimmy here? Oh, okay. But welcome. Okay. All right, so those are some new faces, so be sure and welcome all of them. Next slide. So now let's talk about new programs, as if there isn't enough change, right? But in this fall, we are starting our machining and millwright program. Yay. Okay. And renewable energy program. We're not actually starting it this fall, but we're doing a lot of work to get it planned and developed this fall. And we're very excited about it because it will include elements of hydrogen, manufacturing, carbon capture, as well as LNG. So we're very excited about that. And there aren't a lot of programs out there like that, so it's going to be pretty unique. Next fall, we hope to have off the ground our emergency medical technician program, which has been on the books for a while, but we're getting that off the ground, and a physical therapy assistant program, which will be in allied health. I know Heather's working on that. Okay, so those are some new programs. I'm not saying that's all, but those are the ones that, we'll announce today. So next slide. Okay. You all know that we are one of 3 Lamar State Colleges, and we continue to partner specifically with LIT on our joint dual credit initiative. It's just those 2 state colleges. There's Luke and April. Hi. Okay. We continue to engage in our joint dual credit initiative. Our purpose is to grow dual credit enrollments outside of our agreed upon surface areas in a cooperative, collegial, non-competitive manner, and that is working well for us. We continue that. At Polk County Center, this is a partnership among all 3 Lamar State Colleges. It is a Texas State University System initiative, and the purpose there is to grow enrollments in Polk County in a cooperative, non-competitive manner. And just this week, we interviewed a candidate to take over as executive director out there, and I'm feeling very hopeful and optimistic about that. Next slide. You may remember we do have a quality enhancement plan, the QEP, which is, first of all, a required activity under our accrediting body, SAC-COC, and also an initiative to improve student outcomes. Our QEP focuses on student retention and it strives to provide faculty with additional tools to help students persist and complete their courses. Our QEP directorship has changed hands a few times, but Ebony Simpson is taking that over. Ebony? Where is she? Thank you, Ebony. And you're going to be hearing about just one element of the QEP, which is the Faculty Book Club that Dr. Armentor facilitates. We'll talk about that tomorrow at Faculty Development Day. Okay, grants and awards. This is not going to be a comprehensive list because there's a lot of stuff in the works, but next slide. But just so you know, a few things that are going on. First of all, Title V, which is our grant that represents that we are a developing Hispanic serving institution. Our second Title V grant started this past fall. It is all about overcoming the odds that students face, especially our student population who tends to be first generation and come from disadvantaged backgrounds. So we are focusing on continued supports to help them access higher ed and be successful once they are enrolled. With additional focuses on students' socio-emotional needs. That's part of that grant. So we have things like timely care, which we expanded to include not just mental health services, but also medical, physical services. So if you want to know more about that grant, you can talk to Dr. Lona Alexander-Mitchell or Trinita Lewis. They're here somewhere. Yeah, there you are. Okay, about that. And they'll talk more tomorrow with the faculty about that. Perkins 5, Dr. Armentor facilitates that grant. She'll give you an update on that tomorrow, faculty. But that focuses on support for students enrolled in technical programs. And as Dr. Renard mentioned, there are some other grants in the works that we're hoping to acquire, one of which I'm working on will help us expand our correctional ed enrollment. So we're excited about that. Awards. We are nominating Toy Thornton Wyckoff for the Julie Rogers Community Service Award. That ceremony is held at Lamar University. We'll let you know more about that as we get closer to that, but I think she's well deserving of that award. I know a lot of you engage in the community, and so does Toy, and we're excited about that. Next slide. Okay, dual credit, and you can go ahead and advance. The reason Luke needed an additional person and the reason April has come on board is because look at all the places where we're offering dual credit currently, and there are more in the works. So that's a lot of sites between Bruce, Hodge, and everybody in the dual credit office, and Luke and now April. It's a lot to manage. Bruce is there too. Hi, Bruce. If you enter their office, and they are relocated now to the Madison Monroe building, you'll see them hard at work. They were up here Saturday. They're trying to enroll hundreds and hundreds of students, and it's because we're serving students all over the place. And some of the places listed there are not necessarily dual credit. We continue to offer education to incarcerated students. And we're also, in the next year or so, hoping to expand correctional ed to some additional prison sites, some distance away. So a lot going on there. And you'll see starred there is something called Goodwill Excel. Now, a lot of you have heard of Goodwill, right? You donate or buy clothes and other items there. Well, what a lot of people don't know is part of Goodwill's mission is education. And so some years ago, they went to the legislature for funding to start some community schools where they could offer high school courses to adults who had never completed their high school diploma. And these are folks who, for various reasons, don't achieve that through a GED. They want to actually take the courses, and so Goodwill is offering these programs in various communities. But they also have expanded. They want to do the same thing for incarcerated adults, to offer high school courses to adults who are incarcerated who never completed their diploma. And they have invited us, Lamar State College, Port Arthur, to engage in dual credit with them, but it's not your typical dual credit. It's dual credit for adults, age 18 to 50, whether in community schools, and we are going to be offering our patient care technician program in one of their community schools in Austin, or within correctional settings. So Goodwill already offers high school courses at the Mark Stiles unit, and we are now going to be offering those adult students dual credit, so they'll earn high school and college credit for those courses. And that's just the beginning. We plan to expand from there. Goodwill Excel does this in 4 additional correctional education sites in addition to Mark Stiles. And we have been welcomed to expand to those other correctional units, and I do see that happening in the next couple of years. So we're really excited because it's a pretty innovative way to deliver educational service to adults, whether incarcerated or in communities. And it's kind of outside the box, so we're very excited about that. And I think that's all I have. Tomorrow, the faculty convenes in the Parker Center, 8:30 to noon, and at noon we'll have lunch. And we'll go into depth in some more things, including some of the busy things or activities that the legislature engaged in this past legislative session, and some of the legislation that impact faculty in particular we'll talk about tomorrow, as well as other things. But now I want to welcome Dr. Tessie. Oh, next slide, please. Because we're going to transition to student services, and I want to welcome Dr. Tessie Bradford to the stage. While she makes her way up, I've been asked by our Director Dorothy Beard to announce that to get your parking tag, she has the one-sheet application with her. She's sitting right back there behind the wall. And if you will get that from her and fill it out real quick, she'll give you your parking tag right here on the spot. So wave to us, Dorothy. She's back there. Okay? So try to make your way back to her when we're all done here, and you can get your parking tag. All right, Dr. Bradford, take it away.
Good afternoon. I think a lot of the student services staff are missing today because we had a crowd of students to show up this morning to get registered and take care of their financial aid needs. So there may be a few of us who have trickled in. So that's a good thing that our returning students are coming back and trying to get everything resolved. Next slide, please. So student services consist of the departments that you see on the screen. There's a new one, Housing and Residence Life, thanks to the purchase of Seahawk Landing. So admissions and records, advising and retention, disability services, enrollment services, housing and residence life, student activities, student conduct, and the testing center. We have a lot of new faces. Next slide, please. Denzel Goodman, if you're here, please stand. He's our new Director of Academic Advising and Retention. Janaisha Coleman, Scholarship Coordinator and Academic Advisor. Shelby Pellegrin. Oh, there's Janaisha. Shelby Pellegrin, who is the Admission and Record Specialist. Shakina Smith, Graduation Coordinator and Admissions and Record Specialist. Ariana Williams, Enrollment Counselor. And we all know Miss Eva Heiner Weatherly, who is our new Director of Financial Aid. Tashara Brantley, our Financial Aid Specialist. Veronica Hatnot, Financial Aid Specialist. Cameron Morris, Director of Housing and Residence Life. I'm so glad he's here. Okay. Dale Mark Smith, who is the Coordinator of Residence Life. Okay. Next slide. So there are certain requirements that we have to do in student services. One of them is send out a notice to students 14 days before the first day of class. So that information has been sent out with students as reminders of where to look for policies, check the student catalog, here's a link to the catalogs, the calendars, all types of good information that's useful for them getting started or reminders for returning students for the fall semester. We also have been developing a first day of class info to introduce students to the chairs, to different resources on campus. So that information will go out on next Monday to all students that have that information, links, phone numbers, office locations, so students will know, or at least have it in their hands of where to go. Student Services has a number of workshops that we do. So one of the things that we ask faculty in particular is do not cancel a class. Call us, allow us to come in and do a workshop. Some of it is just a workshop on degree works, so we can teach students how to go into degree works, look at their major, look at the courses that they need to complete, and so they can understand what's required for them to earn their credential. Classroom visits. From time to time, we do ask advising or financial aid people to contact faculty to go into the classrooms. There's a new financial aid application that's on the way, and we just had a new financial aid application next year. So it is going to be really important for our financial aid team to go sit with students and help them to apply for financial aid for the next school year. And as you know, everybody has to complete a financial aid application each year. So please welcome the staff. Sometimes it can be a quick 15, 20 minutes. And then sometimes if you want us to take the whole class, trust me, we have enough to share where we can take up the entire class period. The Seahawk Book Bundle. Our traditional students are automatically enrolled in the book bundle. It's $14 per credit hour. Students have to opt out each year. Students have already been sent the first message of opting out of the book bundle for the fall. The deadline is September 10th. Students will get a reminder. Students will also get a text message. It will also be posted on social media. So they get ample of notification to opt out by the deadline, which is September 10th. Students, even though they're opted into the book bundle, they still have to go and confirm their order. They have to verify this is my mailing address and this is where I would like for my material to be sent. So once they confirm the books are there, just like Amazon, within 1 to 2 days, they will receive it at the address that they identified. Next slide. Admissions and records. So fall graduations, December 12th. Census Day roster verifications. That is so important. We, every semester, get challenges from enrollment for students who said, I never attended, I didn't go here, I didn't register, I didn't ask to be in that class, I never was there. So it is important for you to verify whether this student is actually here or not here for those Census Day roster verifications. And there are a lot of times that we have to get permission from the president to decertify enrollment because we have to make a correction, and that's never a good thing. Okay. Final grade submission. It is crucial. I can let you in on a secret. We're having 2 commencement ceremonies in May. So the importance of getting grades in on time so we can make sure we have those graduates ready, so important. Registration for fall 25 is already underway. We're doing pretty good. We're ahead of where we were last year, but we still have a long way to go to get to our Census Day enrollment. And we do graduate students in the summer. We just don't have a summer ceremony. So on August 11th, 80 students completed their credential at LSCPA. Next slide. So with all the moves, the Disability Services, which is Lori Marcantel, are you in here, Lori? Lori moved to the Fuller Building on the first floor. So if you need to send a student to Lori for an accommodation or any particular reason, She's located now in the Ruby Fuller building on the first floor. We have early alerts in ConnectSed. We do have communication ready to go out. It is important for you to let us know what is going on with those students. Even if you just notice change behavior, or they stop coming to class, or they stop turning in assignments, please let us know. We have a team that spans across multiple departments that reaches out to those students to see if we can help them and give them support, resources, and guidance to try to get them back on track. Timely care. Dr. Millsap mentioned that our timely care has expanded thanks to our Title V. It now includes telemedicine, telecounseling, telepsychiatry. So please continue to refer students to timely care. Timely care will then, if they feel that student needs in-person assistance, they will refer the students to Samaritan Counseling, which we also have an agreement with to provide those in-person services. And thank you to everyone who has supported timely care. We have the highest utilization in the system, overwhelmingly so. We're about 50% utilization of our students, and I think the next highest is maybe 10%. So we're doing a phenomenal job in getting students to register and use timely care. Accommodation letters for fall have been completed. Students should have those on day one to give to the instructors. If new students are coming in and submit documentation, then it will take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to get those letters ready and sent to the students. There's a phone number that you see, the 833-4-TIMELY. That number is for faculty and staff support. So if there's a student that you know is facing some challenges and you're not really sure how to help or support that student, you are welcome to call that number and talk to them about the situation and get some recommendations and advice from professionals that can help you better support that student as they go through whatever challenge they're facing. So ConnectSed is also really critical for us in student services. We use it a lot for appointments, but we now can run different campaigns. And we are happy to do training per department or even per individual to show you all of the new features that we now have in ConnectSed, where we can send auto messages to students based on where they are. We can put a timeline on there or deadlines for different things for them to do, so it's really neat. And if you want to be trained or your department to be trained, please let me know, and we'll come out and get that done for you. Next slide. Financial aid. So applications are coming in daily, processed daily. One thing that is important to know is when a student completes a financial aid application, we do not get it that same day. That's why we encourage students to complete their financial aid applications early, because sometimes it takes a day or more for it to reach us from the Department of Education. So it's important that they complete them as early as possible. So students are awarded daily. They have to accept loans, and we can typically start drawing down and receiving their financial aid funds 10 days before the first day of class, which is why our students typically get refunds pretty early. Now, financial aid is required to have a freeze day. A freeze day is when the funds are locked in for whatever that student received. So our freeze day is census date. So the only thing that will change is if a new student comes to register in a new term after census date. But if a student has already registered, let's say that they're already taking 9 credit hours and census day passes and they decide to add a class, they're locked in at that financial aid. So it's also important to encourage students to make sure they register for the classes that they need and want to take. And we typically don't have this issue because we don't have multiple parts of terms throughout the semester. Next slide. Enrollment services. Enrollment services oversees our student ambassadors. So if you need a student ambassador, and they're wonderful, and I'm sure some of you saw the new uniforms they have, which they really stand out. They are highly trained, and we can put them in front of a camera and anyone, and they will do us all very proud. So if you need an ambassador or more for your event, I believe we have 8 ambassadors for the fall semester. If you need to request an ambassador, you can contact Enrollment Services tell them how many you need, the date and time, and they will have them there. They do have an informal uniform, so you have to let us know, is this informal or should they have on their blazer and the ties? So Enrollment Services is always out recruiting. They're always getting requests to show up. They're always doing presentations. They have presentations on standby for every age group, elementary kids and up. So if you ever need assistance or you want them to come kind of go over some recruitment training and pitches with your department, please just let us know and they can come out to do that. One of the things that the director wants to do, Josh, are you here? One of the things that Josh wants to do is to really form a collaborative enrollment team to discuss ideas, and some of the things that we're working on are new brochures by academic departments as well that are kind of the same size as our general college brochure, so you'll get information about that soon. And we're using the CRM that's now built into ConnectSted, which makes it really easy for students to know what their next step is, because they can go in and see the milestone mountain, which is really cool. And it has like different dots on the mountain that let them know, I need to turn in a test score, or I need to attend new student orientation. And as they do it, it kind of confetti pops up that they completed a task, and it automatically sends reminders to those students via email or text message if the student accepts, to remind them that, hey, you still have a task to complete. As you can see, this is our enrollment. As of August 14th, we've probably got 200 additional students since then, but we were at about 4,600, almost 4,700 students last year in fall, so we have got to reach that number. So we are pulling lists and rosters of students who were here last year who have not registered, and we're calling them, sending text messages. We're also calling applicants, sending them text messages and trying to see if we can get those students in. And I know dual credit and correctional education are working diligently to get their students enrolled for the fall semester as well. Next slide. Seahawk Landing. I am glad that Cameron is here. I am glad that we have hired resident assistants because it has been heavy lifting. We purchased the building on July 23rd, and I think I have probably bothered every department about Seahawk Landing. So I just want to take a moment to thank IT, physical plant, campus safety, for all of the heavy lifting you've been doing to help us get this turned around. I know you're sick of me, but I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So there's a lot that's going on. Every day we discover something new that needs to be addressed in Seahawk Landing. And all of the teams have worked together, and Cameron, who got here in July, hit the ground running to finalize everything from the housing application, the housing contract, meal plans and the meal plan contract, and the housing policies and letters and everything that needed to go out to people of interest, public information, thank you also who got a brochure out pretty quickly for us and updated the website almost instantly for Seahawk Landing and the new changes that are occurring. Occupancy has increased. I think the first day we may have received 30 applications, housing applications, and then the next week we were up to like 59. So we're expected to be around 80% occupancy this first year, which is wonderful. I don't know if that's the highest that we've ever had. I know it's the highest since I've been here in 5 years. So I'm really excited about that because it eliminated several barriers that our students face trying to get student housing. Meal plans, this is something new. Because we have, student housing now, we wanted to introduce meal plans and things that we can charge the student from the college, they can use financial aid to pay for it. And so now we have meal plans for students to purchase for Seawall Cafe, and those meal plans start at $600, I believe. And like I said, the good thing is they can use their financial aid to pay for it and be able to eat at Seawall Cafe. Next slide. So student activities is always busy, always working with our Student Government Association. I think I saw a couple of officers in here. Will you all please stand? Did I see some SGA? Okay. So our Student Government Association has been active since May, going to the Board of Regents. They've been to 2 Board of Regents now. They've had training and development. They've had appearances to make. So they have been very busy this summer, planning and having wonderful activities, starting with our freshman welcome bash on this Saturday, August 23rd from 12 to 2. We will also have all student services staff in the Parker Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday for our Super Saturday event, which is for students to come and take care of any last enrollment needs that they need to do before the first day of class. So please spread the word and share information on social media. If you have a social media account, please go to the LSCPA social media accounts and share or tag people in the comments so they can see what we're doing and what we have going on. Our student activities would like for you, faculty, to encourage your students to participate. Some of our events are educational events. They're not all just fun, exciting events. Some of them are great learning opportunities for students, and so if you can offer a student an extra point or something to attend, that would be great. Student Activities also oversees the Nest, which is our food pantry and supply closet. Everything inside that pantry is free for students and for employees. So we don't want anyone on this campus to be hungry or need some type of supply and don't have it. So please encourage them to go to the Nest, which is on the 2nd floor of the Student Center, and all they need is their ID. It has, of course, food items, hygiene items, some school supplies that students may need, including like the small calculators. We try to keep some Scantrons in there just in case the students need a Scantron and didn't have a chance to get one. Next slide. Student conduct. There is a student conduct form on the Student Services webpage. This form allows you to report incidents and information directly to me and to the Director of Student Activities, who also helps with student conduct. It is important that you report the violation immediately. Even if you call campus safety to report it, it is necessary for you to report the violation. A lot of times I get faculty who come and say, I'm fed up and I want this student out of my class. And there has been nothing shared with me. So students have a right to be advised of any allegations against them. They also have the right to be afforded the opportunity to state their case. They have to be able to defend themselves and share information and tell their side of the story. And the student also has to be notified in writing of the decision. So, in certain decisions, the student has a right to appeal. There are only two things that the student cannot appeal, and that's a warning or probation. Anything outside of that, the student has the right to appeal. Typically, depending on the nature of the case, I do not hear those cases. They typically go to the director of student activities. Unless it's something pretty serious or major, I will take it. I typically don't get involved because the appeal comes to me. So I allow the process to take place before I get involved or intervene. So in case the student appeals a decision, I can get the case and information and handle the appeal. If I make the decision, the appeal goes to the the student-faculty relations committee. And so that's it on student conduct. So please make sure you report the first incident. Don't wait until you're tired or frustrated and then report it or email. Please make sure you report it as soon as it happens so that we can try to correct the behavior and help the student get back on track. Next slide. Testing center. Testing has been very, very busy. I want to thank the business office for working with us because we ran out of units, which is a good problem because that means that a lot of students are taking the TSI. And so it's a good problem to have, but we've had to reorder and re-up units, I think 4 different times since April. So we've been doing a lot of testing. We've been cross-training a lot of staff to be able to administer the TSI just to handle the large volume. Testing Center has been doing Saturday testing since June to meet the demands of students who needed to test. So they've been super busy. And the Testing Center also proctors exams. But if you want to send a student to get an exam proctored, don't just send a student with no information. Like the Testing Center needs to know your name. Where do they send the results? What are the instructions? Is it timed? Is it not timed? Can the student use a calculator or can they use notes? So the Testing Center needs to know the details about proctoring an exam when the student comes to take it. The fall hours for the Testing Center are 8 to 5 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Tuesday they will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I think that's it for me. Next slide. Miss Leanna Odom is up next.
Well, good afternoon. Let's see, does this work for me? Yeah, it's good. So I'm sure everyone's getting a little weary, but yes, I'm here to talk about finance and operations. But lucky for you, I will not talk about all of finance and operations. So I'm going to hit the highlights. But in case you didn't know, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but finance and operations consist of safety, information technology, procurement services, financial services, fiscal management services, student business services, physical plant, and information security. And human resources. Did I miss anybody? Okay, all right, next slide, please. Okay, so just one new addition that we have coming. Hopefully this week we are going to be filling our executive director of human resources. So fingers crossed. We have a meeting. I believe it's tomorrow with the president. So next slide, please. Okay, so let's get to the meat of this. So we came out of this 89th session. We did really good, in my opinion. We had several requests, and certainly some of those were not approved. But one really meaningful request that was approved was we got a $1 increase in our contact hour funding. And that means a lot for us because that allows us to do lots of things. And what are those things? One thing, it allows us to ultimately give raises, which is awesome. I know all of you want a raise, right? So that is really a blessing to all of us. And another reason that we were able to get the dollar is that it helps us combat inflation. So again, we really feel like we came out really good. As mentioned also, this allows us to maintain our current tuition rate, which has been, I believe, pretty much the same since around 2015. That helps us stay competitive with the community colleges that are out there in Texas. And also, we're able to fund other needs. So I feel like we came out of this session really good. And hats off to those at the system office that fight that fight for us, as well as all of you that do your job to educate the students, but also that equates to contact hours, and those hours times the rate that we get means money that we can continue to operate. So thank you for all that you do. You're part of this story. A next big win that came out of this session is that every 10 years we do a HEAF study, and in this HEAF study, we looked at all the costs and what kind of money we're receiving for HEAF, what's the dollars for LSCPA, and so we as a committee, we asked for 100%. Of course we would. As finance people, we need more money to help you do what you do so that you can buy equipment or we can renovate these buildings, we can change out an old elevator. That's what HEAF is for, mainly deferred maintenance, but also important instructional as well as operational needs. So we asked for 100%, but we didn't get 100% as far as all of the Texas state agencies that get HEAF. Well, we got 50%. That's okay because we're a small institution. We ended up with well over 100% because there's some little strange calculation in that formula. So let me just say that we are sitting good, and that allows us again to focus on deferred maintenance, and because we have an aging campus, although we have two really, one remodeled building, Madison Monroe, and then Melissa, is that your speech? And anyway, another new building, but anyway. So we did really good in this session, so you should be encouraged. Next slide, please. Okay, as far as the budget, what did we do? So for this fiscal 25 is coming to a close. Fiscal 26 is conservative. It's based on fiscal 25 actual revenues. We are very conservative. We do not want to overhit that target because then you're going to budget at that higher level and that wouldn't be good. So we try to be very fiscally responsible. So due to the increase in our contact hours and the funding rate, we were able to take some competitive actions here at LSCPA. That included a 3% raise for qualifying employees with some equity considerations based on market and other factors. So that is wonderful news for us. Another thing that we've been able to do with our president's leadership is look at our faculty salaries and try to remain competitive going forward and retain qualified faculty to educate our students. So that's a great initiative for us. It also includes a robust amount to address deferred maintenance needs, including roof repairs and HVAC upgrades next year. And then the fiscal 26 budget is balanced and fully addresses the operational and strategic needs of LSCPA. Last but not least, shared business services. So if you're new to LSCPA, you might be thinking, what is that even all about? So that is our Chancellor McCall's vision, as well as our Vice Chancellor, Daniel Harper. That's their vision, and Dr. Renard graciously embraced this years ago, and it continues to expand. And so where we are right now is we continue to align processes across our finance and operations. That just means that the Lamar State Colleges, at this point, we continue to do things, what's that best practice way of doing things. So we've been in this at this level since 2023, and we continue to make progress. In addition to the Lamar State Colleges, we also serve the system office and Sul Ross State University. A recent addition to that structure, again based on the system office, is that Lamar University is now part of our shared business services. So we're going to continue to explore opportunities to collaborate together with them based on, again, the Chancellor's vision. While we continue to service you, you are our priority. We really want to service you. You're our customers, and we also want to expand our strengths. And so we're here again to serve our students, faculty, and staff. And we're continuously trying to improve our services to you. So let us know how we may assist you. Next slide, please. This just gives you an idea, a little bit, a high level of what our shared business services look like. It's just the Lamar State Colleges on this particular slide. And yeah, that's all I've got. So have a great semester. Thank you. And I believe Cash Cox, our interim CIO, AVP, is next.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'll try to make mine short and quick, too. I just wanted to give you a few updates for information technology services. We do have a couple of new staff members that came on board. If you could go to the next slide, please. Susan Orvik, she's our Director of Enterprise Applications. Many of you that work with Banner will be working with her, and you'll be able to see her. She does not sit on this campus. She's actually fully remote, so you will see her as you work throughout Banner, and she directs the Banner team. We also have a student of ours that just recently graduated that we're going to be bringing on board for our technical support specialist. And the name is Sunil Insua. I haven't got to meet yet, but I plan to meet him soon. Our SaaS migration, if you go to the next slide, please. We continue to move forward with our SaaS migration. We now have a go-live date scheduled for March 2026. And we're continuing strengthening our infrastructure services on campus. We've implemented a new backup solution called Convocation. We now have everything that you can think of backed up: OneDrive, SharePoint, team sites, email. All of that can be recovered in a moment's notice now. We also have implemented Intune for our PC and laptop management on campus. And we begin laying the foundation for Zero Trust networking and continue upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And you'll see some of that coming up this next month. If you could go to the next slide, please. We're continuing our support for major building projects. Of course, we have the Madison Monroe remodel that we're continuing to set up, and hopefully we're ready for first day of classes, and the new health and science building, and services for the Seahawk Landing to ensure we're ready for the new semester on that for internet services and things like that that the students are going to need. New this year that I don't have up there, and I wanted to bring up for everyone, is that we've moved all of the departmental IT budgets to IT now. So what that means is we're going to handle all the budgets for IT now. So anytime you order any equipment or anything, you put a ticket in, and then IT handles everything from that point forward. And that helps us standardize our equipment on campus to ensure we can support you and also improve our procurement process so that we can better serve and support you in that way too. Another thing from the remodel is that we now have moved our help desk upstairs on the second floor of the Madison Monroe in room 220. So we have help desk right across the hall from our actual student lab that used to be in the library too. So everything's in one place now to help better serve you. Students can come right across the hall to get help and support from us. And then also we can be right there to help them as they're using the library lab. You can contact IT at extension 6150, and usually you'll catch Kenneth at the end of that line answering the phone call. You can also submit a ticket through our email, helpdesk@lamarpa.edu, and you can also submit a ticket through MyLamarPA using the portal through the Team Dynamics system. So we have different options there to help you, and we're always readily available anytime you need any help. So we're here to support you. These changes are all part of our ensuring we provide reliable, secure, and accessible technology to our campus. If you need anything, please let us know. Faculty, when you go to your classrooms this week and you see any issues, please let us know so we can get those fixed for you for when the semester starts. Thank you. Have a great semester.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our new buildings. I am Melissa Armitar for the new people in the room. I'm the Dean of Educational Programs here. And we have had a couple of building projects in addition to the new dorm, and Tessie thanked a whole range of people for that. But while they're helping her with the dorm, they were also instrumental in putting together these new buildings, the Health and Science Building and the Madison Monroe Building. And just so you know, that includes moving all the staff, all of their furniture, all of their computers, any equipment used in labs, so all of the nursing simulation equipment. We got some new stuff, but we had to move some old stuff. Our support staff has worked extremely hard, and I too would like to thank IT and physical plant for everything they have done. And Gary Rash and his staff for making sure the buildings get opened and we can get in and out when we need to. Thank you, Dorothy. I have Dorothy's cell phone number. So we're going to start with the Allied Health and Science Building. So next slide. Yeah, there we go. So, oh no, we started with the Monroe Building. So we're currently finishing the renovations of the Madison Monroe Education Building, and you can see everything that they did here. We had a new HVAC system, electrical system, roof, windows. It's a fabulous looking building. If you go in there right now, you can't barely get down the hall because all the furniture's in the halls. We will have state-of-the-art computer labs once they finish, and they have 1 week to finish. So keep your fingers crossed that everything will be ready by Monday. We are currently relocating classes from the outer areas. So we had classes that were in the Humphrey Building and the Parker Center and the Student Success Center. All over campus, we're putting some of those back in Madison Monroe. Unfortunately, not all of the rooms in Madison Monroe are going to be ready for the first class day, but we will have most of them ready. The offices that are currently located in there are listed here. Dr. Bernard did mention her office is still in the library, but you can find myself and my assistant dean and our admin, JC, as well as Dr. Millsap and Mary Lou and all of the dual credit staff and the IT staff and institutional research and effectiveness. Jenny and Petra have been relocated to the Madison Monroe Building. You can find all your correctional education people. Eventually, you'll find Darren McIntyre there as soon as they're finished with his office. So if you need information security, who did I leave out? Let's see, where's my list? Ebony, online learning. Online learning is in the Madison Monroe Building. As soon as they finish all of the computer labs, we will be moving classes in there. We will have 3 classrooms available the first class day, 4 computer labs, and all of the upstairs rooms will be available. There is a fabulous skywalk that connects the Student Center to Madison Monroe. So you can go to the second floor of the Student Center where the pool tables are and walk directly across to enrollment services. This is going to be fabulous for our student traffic. They come in and they check in student services. They want to know about enrollment. They can go straight over to enrollment services. If they're having trouble with their computers, they walk down the hall a little bit further, and there's Kenneth in the computer lab. So it's going to be a great thing for our students once we get this building fully operational. Moving on to the Allied Health Building. This is our new Health and Science Building, and I keep forgetting that it's not the Allied Health and Science Building. So you'll have to excuse me. It's the Health and Science Building. You'll find it listed in our class schedule as HASB. It includes all of our nursing programs and surgical technology. All of our nursing faculty now have offices in this new building. They are fabulous offices. They're no longer closets. We also have all of our science faculty there. So Percy Jordan, Dr. Jordan, where's Dr. Jordan? Dr. Jordan moved his office out of the Student Center and into the new building. He is now in his new digs. Dr. Longlet also moved her office, and our new chemistry instructor, Dr. Medikar, is in that building as well. We still have to hire one more biology faculty that will go in that building. If you have not been to the building, please take a look, walk over there, look at our new science labs. We have state-of-the-art chemistry physics lab, biology microbiology lab, and an A&P lab. They are just fabulous. We have large classrooms, medium classrooms, small classrooms, and a fully functional hospital suite that has everything you would see in an actual hospital. So they have the Pyxis unit where you get your meds, and they have ICU rooms and a pediatric room, and they have these lifelike mannequins that they can do all kinds of different scenarios to teach students how to run what they have learned in the classroom. And I think that's it. Do I have anything else? Campus updates? Oh, the new programs. Yes, the old Allied Health building is being renovated. So the new renovated building should be completed sometime this semester. We're hoping the end of September, but maybe the end of October. And then we will be making plans to get our pharmacy tech program moved into that building. We are creating the space needed so that we can get our accreditation for our pharmacy tech program. Toy Thornton Wyckoff is working very hard on that. And we will be putting our physical therapy assistant program in there, so we're going to be creating a space for physical therapy and for our EMS lab, which as soon as we can hire an EMS faculty member, we will be starting that program. We may even be able to do a late start this semester with our EMS program. Okay, next slide. Campus-wide updates. Okay. We are going to be, so there's so much going on, and we've talked about a lot of it today, but did not go into any great detail. We will be having some campus-wide update meetings. You see the dates here on the slides. September 18th from 2 to 5, and September 19th from 9 to noon. You just have to attend one, correct? Okay, stay tuned. Keep these dates opened on your calendar. These will be dates where we will be giving more campus updates and going into some greater detail about some of the initiatives that are going to be taking place on campus and some of the things that we're going to talk about tomorrow at Faculty Development Day, and then some of the things that Tessie was mentioning about improvements in her areas that we need to go into more detail with. Anything else? Next slide. High five to a great year. Go back to work.